Hello everyone, my name is Dhruvi Karya and I'm from the Social and Dramatic Union of Jehin College, and I'd like to welcome you all to the fourth episode of Not Another Story. Not Another Story is an initiative by SDU to spread knowledge and awareness about various industries, fashion being the one today. This episode is sponsored by AQFit. AQFit is a technology startup with primary focus on electronics and smart devices. AQFit adheres to the core value concept of originality, quality, experience, and service, and hence enriching the future life with emerging technology. Today, we have some of the biggest faces from the fashion industry. I would like to introduce the panelists today. I'll start by Ami ma'am. Ami Patel is a celebrity stylist and has been styling Bollywood celebrities since years and has close relations with top-notch actresses by making them look their absolute best. She has styled actresses like Alia Bhatt, Priyanka Chopra, Kangana Ranaut, Sara Ali Khan, etc. Next, we have Nikhil Kandhari. Nikhil is a content creator and a music producer. He's also co-founded the Snack Digital and is also a content strategist there. Next, we have Gumani, stylist, Gurleen and Sukhmani. They love everything about fashion, films, and style, and hence their passion created them led them creating their very own Gumani stylists. And now they're celebrity stylists as well as fashion influencers, and they have been styling celebrities like Neha Dhupia and Angad Bedi. Next, we have Nonita Kalra. She has 3 decades of media experience in print and television. For the last 4 years, she was an editor at Harper's Bazaar, and prior to that, she was an editor-in-chief at Elle India. She is an influencer in the field of beauty, fashion, and lifestyle. Her initiatives have shaped her career and made beautiful trends today. Thank you all for joining in today. I'd like to begin by asking my very first question. What, according to you, is the most absurd fashion trend of 2020? Nonita ma'am, would you take it?
I think it's really unfair to say anything in fashion is absurd, because for those of us who are fashion insiders, the more absurd, the more individual, the more we love it, right? The thing we love most about fashion is the fact that it's incredibly individual. Many years, I mean, no, in February, if you asked us, we would have said wearing track bottoms is absurd. That's anti-fashion. And right now, you and I are both sitting wearing our track bottoms and wearing just the top halves formal. I think that nothing is absurd. If you love fashion, I think you have to love the individual and you have to celebrate it.
I completely agree. Ami ma'am.
I think what Nonita said is just bang on. I totally agree with that. So honestly, I don't have anything to add here.
Gurleen ma'am and Sukhmani ma'am.
Yeah, I think she's like said it like on point, everything. 100% at on point. Yeah, it's absolutely subjective, and totally respect everybody's space and their fashion and wardrobe and whatever they create with it. Definitely.
So yeah, absurd saying in 2020 is like really not.
Either you can just pick up things from everybody and learn, or just like not look at it. Like it's totally up to you what you want to wear.
Totally. Nikhil sir.
Something to say about the most absurd 20, if there is one, is really buying things that are not eco-friendly. Things, just doing fashion trends that are not in line with eco-friendliness, like fur or anything else, is, I would say, absurd.
Nikhil
If
sir.
I personally had to pick a trend, not obviously absurd, what Nonita said was obviously great, and that's how fashion works, and that's how it has been and always will be. But if it's a trend, when I talk about functionality of things and stuff like that, I would say the Jacquemus bag, those mini bags that have been trending, as in they're not too functional. So, but it's the trend of social media that kind of pushes you to be like, oh, it's cute and it looks aesthetic, and like the whole aesthetic bit of it kind of pushes people to buy those things that are not maybe needed by you at that point of time. So that's something that could be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
saying like being influenced unnecessarily and buying things, out, by not using your brain and seeing the functionality of it is not absolutely correct, and I totally get his point.
I'd like to ask the next question. Who, according to you, is your fashion role model? Like who you look up to in terms of fashion? Amin, ma'am, if you take that.
Honestly, I don't have a fashion role model. I have to be honest. I think to me, it's just people who are, being responsible and not really being too decadent and really. I love the idea of designers being a little, giving out their thoughts, especially, fashion. I think is amazing. So to me, anyone who takes part in, like Prabal Gurung to me is amazing because he speaks his mind through his work. And there are a lot of designers like that. So to me, they are using fashion, not just treating it lightly, but using it in a correct way. So yeah. But otherwise, I don't think I have anyone who I'm like going to look up to or anything like that. Yeah.
Nikhil, sir.
Yeah, exactly like what she said. Is there's not a specific person I would look up to when it comes to fashion because uh, whether it's me creating content in fashion, I am always like inspired by like a lot of people. I could be walking on the street and I could see someone just casually dressed, and I would be like, oh, that's so amazing. Or it's like so many designers internationally or Indian. There are so many upcoming Indian designers. I love seeing college projects of fashion students, their graduation collections. There's so much you can learn from even that and understanding how they work with silhouettes. Because I've not studied design, but I love design. So seeing all of that, how they use it, how they use their creativity, I'm always like inspired by a lot of people.
Yeah. Nonita, ma'am.
I have to agree with what everyone on the panel has said so far. I think the real fashion heroes are your real people, people who are not succumbing to buying something because it appears to be hashtag outfit of the day, things that don't make sense to you if you're consuming without thinking. So for me, fashion heroes are people who've used this time to rewear, reuse, turn responsible. Also, my fashion heroes are people who have fun with fashion. And the truth is, so many celebrities at the moment don't have fun with fashion. They're very sort of caught up by their own sort of image. So they'll get a stylist to design a style for them. That's not their style, right? But someone who's having fun and pushes the envelope, that's a bit of a fashion hero for me. And right now, I'm really loving Marc Jacobs' Instagram account because he brings in sort of gender and politics and fluidity.
Goodleen, ma'am, and Sukhmani, ma'am.
So for me, it's been her. My clothes have been usually passed on from her as a child. I'm the younger one, so I've been always looked up to her, and dressing up like her, mostly taking her clothes out of her wardrobe. I'm being very realistic. I'm just saying, as a younger sibling, I've always looked up to her to dress up and like take out clothes from her wardrobe and fight over it. So it's been like that. It's very realistic. Look up to her fashion and just wear her bigger slippers, bigger shoes. So yeah, and also I'd like to add Neha. As a person, as a woman, I've seen her change and accept things as her throughout her journey of pregnancy. I've seen her dress up and carry everything confidently. So as a woman, if I can do that 10%, yeah, I just want to be strong enough to, be comfortable in my own skin like her, and as every woman or as a human being to wear whatever I want to wear.
The next question would be, how would you describe your aesthetic in terms of fashion, like the clothes you wear, the overall aesthetic that you follow? Nikhil, sir, if you take that.
I'd say comfortable and everyday is because I love re-wearing my clothes. If you go to my page, you see I'm not that person whose every image is a different outfit. It obviously is a different outfit because I've used, but the pieces are always the same. I love wearing one shirt in like 20 different ways each time. I've been wearing probably the same outfits on my Instagram since past 2.5, 3 years. So that's always one thing that's been, and I always keep it comfortable. That's why I run a series on my page, which is OOTD with NKHL, because I want people to kind of put what they usually wear every day. So going on that hashtag, people see other real people who are wearing everyday outfits, whether it's a pair of blue jeans and a black t-shirt, how they accessorize it or how they layer it. It's just always about comfort and wearability for me.
Nonita, ma'am.
Many years ago, I met this wonderful international jewelry designer. She was the head of fine jewelry for Dior. And she told me she wore a dress every single day because it was one piece of clothing and it took away the fuss from finding a top that matched a bottom, all of that. And that resonated with me. I think if you work in fashion, you see so many clothes that you're almost done with it. I don't have a love for new clothes, and I don't have I never covet anything in fashion, jewelry, or design. But what she said made so much sense to me that I sort of wear a black dress every single day. My style is very classic.
I agree with Nonita on that one. Her style is very classic, and every time you see her, there's something new about what she's wearing, the detailing, like the detailing of the shirt that she's wearing right now. I think it's perfect for, a meeting like this. But for me, I'd like to quote Susie Menkes. I heard her say this a couple of years ago, where she said, I like wearing clothes that work for me and not the other way around. I totally agree with that, because the kind of lives that we lead, even now, whether we're in lockdown or whether we're, in a situation like COVID or not, I think it's very important to find clothes that are not just looking beautiful, the functionality of the clothes, and the fact that whether it's the fabric, how you feel wearing it, how your skin breathes through it, how it works for you in the long run, the maintenance. To me, all that is very important, as important as style, and a lot of designers do not take that into consideration. So that is something that I totally, for my personal style, would look at. There's no point in buying something that looks amazing. You wear it once and then, something falls off and, it just doesn't feel good on you. And, you know what I'm saying? It's just everything put together from a holistic point of view, that the clothes have to work for me. And basically, if I'm hardworking, the clothes have to be hardworking as well. They can't, they can't just be something that I put away and then I don't know what to do with it.
And Sukhmani, ma'am.
Yeah, I think to begin with, we'll also say that we love the fact that every piece need to rewear everything, is what our style kind of is. We always try and reuse things and keep that into consideration, and keep the fact that how fashion needs to be sustainable at this point of time. And also for the fact, again, as mentioned, that comfort is really, really important when you're dressing up, especially when we are at work. Like, we also always kind of tend to just wear a pair of jeans and a t-shirt because it's just kind of comfortable and it kind of defines you as well at work. So yeah, pretty much comfort is what we look at.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, Ami ma'am would have to leave due to prior commitments. Thank you so much, ma'am, to join in and have this wonderful conversation with us.
Having me, and really all of you.
Okay, I'd like to continue and ask the most relevant question in today's uncertain times. How do you think has COVID affected the fashion industry?
I'd like to say, with the fact that it has affected us in the fashion industry in a lot of ways, it has also benefited us in a lot of ways. Um, uh, Obviously, sales have affected. That affects the people who are manufacturing the clothes. Employees are facing issues. That's one of the things I'm sure they'll tap in as well. And Nonita also will be able to say a lot on that. But I feel like it has also pushed a lot of designers and brands that were only selling through stores to now pushing them to go online as well. So they are now selling online, which they didn't in the past. And even luxury brands that were only doing are now also doing clothes that are more athleisure, comfortable clothing, where you wouldn't see a Louis Vuitton on the runway showing you outfits that you could wear on daily basis. So it's also about fashion evolving in a way because of what we were affected by.
Nonita, ma'am.
So, Nikhil is correct, but I will address what has happened to the industry. All Indian businesses, well, not all, a majority of them, need regular cash inflow to survive the next month. So when you don't earn for a month, it's hard to pay people, pay rent, sustain the business, and go on, say, from Jan to Feb to March. So, of course, what's happened is that businesses have shut. They've been shut for a long time, and every designer has tried, but they haven't been able to support their craftsmen. A lot of the craftsmen have gone back, and we're going to see the impact of that more next year than this year. The craftsmen have gone back. They've been treated so badly, they're not coming back. And we have to remember, Indian fashion is not about silhouette. Indian fashion has always been about fabric and texture and craft. And that is going to go away. As it is, the crafts were suffering because the next generation didn't want it. They knew that their fathers were not making a good enough living from it. I fear, and I've talked to both Tarun Tahliani and Sabyasachi about it, they feel that that's going to be the big fallout. And they're working very hard towards trying to fix that and revive it and help it. But I don't know how that will work. This has also been a good time because every brand has been able to clean house. And the thing is, when you think things are going well, you overextend yourself stupidly. Against every business lesson you're taught, you don't need 5 stores in one city. You need an online presence because you need to reach more of India. India is more than Delhi and Bombay. India is actually small town India where people are aspirational and will value your garment and your craft more, but we weren't reaching out to them. When things go wrong, you see the metal of a brand, and those are the brands that will survive. And already you're seeing this, you're seeing it in the films that they've done for Fashion Week. Their communication has changed, they've become more approachable. I was speaking to Tarun, and he now you can buy Tarun Talyani lehenga for 60,000. It's lighter than it's ever been. The clothes are still beautiful, but it's light. It's now for the bride who wears her trainers, dances through the night, and they also sell it with you, sell it to you in a way where you can wear it much after the wedding. So if the same outfit can last you many, many times, it comes back to the question of sustainability, then it's okay. I wish that we didn't have to go through what I call like the Great Depression, but I think until terrible things happen, people don't rise from the ashes. Sustainability has become the biggest issue for everybody. People my generation, but your generation is never buying a garment that isn't sustainable. We're going to save our planet. At the end of this, what's going to happen is you kids are going to save the planet because for you, it's more important to have an earth than to have that other outfit. And what, all this education that we've been trying to do hasn't been able to do. COVID has done it. So it's good news and bad news, and I always focus on good news. I told you all when we started, I'm an optimist.
Gurleen, ma'am, what would you all say?
Yeah, I think Nikhil and Nonita have mostly covered everything.
Each and everything.
Yeah, like normal people, I would like to say that I'm mostly on social media, and the one thing that this pandemic has totally taught us is the thing that has started at the trend, like hashtag support local and stuff like that. Due to that, I've come across a lot of local designers, which has helped us, go through all those people who are actually not vocal about their designs and their brands earlier, and they've actually come out on media and social media and supported their local sustainable brands, and I've come through a lot of them actually, which is a very good initiative by people whoever has started. So I really like the fact that I could actually be introduced to all these brands online
because of this situation we were put in.
So my next question would be, Nonita ma'am did already speak about it. What are your views on sustainable fashion, and how important is it for one to follow sustainability in today's time?
I feel about sustainable fashion, there are a lot of questions that people don't really know the answers to, that people only think it's about the fabrics or just how they've sourced it, but it's also how ethical the brands are, is where sustainability comes from. That to know that you're paying the people who are making your clothes well, it's also being ethical on those aspect of thing, and not just, oh, I'm using this organic fabric, or I'm using this. You need to have and see how much of a carbon footprint you're actually leaving through the process until the point you're selling the garment to them. Because there are fast fashion brands who do things like, oh, conscious line, H&M has conscious. Obviously, it's not that you need, no one's saying that stop buying fast fashion. You can buy a pair of denims that you can wear a lot from any of the fast fashion brands, but you could be wearing it with something else that you can, which maybe last longer, from one of the sustainable brands. So it's just how you balance it well, more than just be like, oh, my entire outfit and everything needs to be sustainable. It's just that buying right and being conscious about it in a way that it affects on a global scale, not just as a person individually.
Nikhil, you could also buy a pair of jeans that have been made from recycled plastic bottles.
Yes, of course. And I'm saying it to a point of taking a step forward. I'm saying it's not like you have to straight up begin with doing everything all together at once. There's no harm in kind of cutting it down, because no one can make that sort of change overnight. So you slowly build in it is what I was trying to say.
I love what you're saying. So I don't use the word sustainable, I use the word responsible. So, what I did in the middle of the pandemic, I live between three cities. I managed to get two cities wardrobe in one. And the girl who works with me, she says, what if you wear something new every day and see how many clothes you really have? I was ashamed and embarrassed, but over the years, because I look after my clothes, I didn't need to repeat anything for 2 months. That's disgusting. So I packed away everything, half of it, and I said, I'm going to give it away. But I did not then go out and buy more. I'm rewearing, and every time I rewear, I actually announce it because I want people to know that, listen, you can rewear. I remember a young woman tried to tell me, oh, you're wearing Rahul Mishra again. And I was like, yeah, don't I look good in it? And I will look fabulous when I wear it the next 10 times.
Yeah.
I actually had to throw the shade on her and say, I plan to rewear it for the rest of my life.
Lakshmani ma'am and Gurleen ma'am, your opinions
No,
on
even as
sustainability.
individuals, like we as individuals or as stylists, we also always try to put it out there. We know we put out the content saying, oh, we styled this person so and so and so and so outfit, but we also simultaneously put it out with each other saying that we rewear stuff, we restyle stuff. So it's not like we just support one person wearing one outfit, but we also try to push it out in a way that always rewear, restyle. Suppose it's a dupatta, we always try to put it out that how you can rewear a dupatta in multiple ways and stuff like that. So it's very important that you give that message. So if you're saying, coming to the fact that influencers are just putting out the content saying that, you know what, it's a new look every day, but I see influencers are also trying to put out that how you keep re-wearing your stuff. So it's
which is very nice and responsible. That way, I am also coming across a lot of new ways to restyle and repurpose. Instagram has always taught us a lot of things to, go through and see. Sustainability is not, see, I, as common people, I also go to a Zara and buy a pair of denims, but I always try to restyle. I'm not going to say that, oh, because it's sustainability, I'm just going to throw it out. I would like to, I am one person who will just cut it out and make it into shorts and just wear it again and again and again. So you just need to be responsible enough to, make things last longer, and you are responsible enough to pass through that message that you need to be responsible towards your earth. That's all.
I do
Also,
second that.
I love Instagram. I think it's so wrong to say that Instagram is telling people to wear new clothes all the time. Here's the truth: there are some influencers who are all about hashtag outfit of the day. But you know what democracy means? You unfollow them. What Instagram has done during this period is it's let all of us connect with each other. It's let smart young women and men say that I repeat my clothing. I actually think social media is the best thing that's happened. Just be responsible, and it's so easy. Unfollow.
Moving forward to the next question, we've seen millennials overhyping fashion studies. What do you think? Is it important, or is it just not necessary for a fashion aspirant to study fashion if they're looking forward to make their career in fashion? What are your opinions on that?
So I can talk about fashion in terms of whether you can join a magazine, be a stylist, both fashion or beauty, whether you want to be a fashion writer. And I do believe education is critical. I think that whatever you do, you've got to study it. A job will then teach you how to put that into practice, or it will unteach you everything you've learned, but a basic grounding is essential. I have always hired stylists who are NIFT graduates because I need them to know how a garment will flow, how it's constructed, how its drape will work. It is of prime importance, inside knowledge. I think working in fashion is a wonderful career for young people because it's a safe space for anybody who's creative, different, and feels maybe that the rest of the planet, the boring banking, engineering jobs don't feel like a fit for them.
On this one, actually, I would come to myself in a way, is because I realized way later in my life that if I studied this would help me now. Like, I love going to I have my tailor who I go, I design my own clothes. Most of the shirts I wear in my entire wardrobe are all made by me. But when I'm in that process, I'm like, oh, I wish I studied design, that I would be able to do so much more that I'm unable to do now. of course, there's stuff online. I read online, I study online. In fact, the lockdown, I have done a bunch of courses online on Coursera to kind of learn and get more of a deep insight on understanding what knowledge I have, because I luckily had the opportunity to get the experience before. So there's no harm in getting the education even way later in your life. It's really important to get the education in something that you're trying to pursue. Obviously, like she said, work experience is important, but everything comes step by step in life. So your first point should be finishing your education. At least cover the pointers of where what you feel will help you even get that job. You can always do the job and then again get an education. So education is super important.
Good, Lean and Sukmani, ma'am.
I think they've pretty much covered everything about this whole.
Totally.
Yeah, education is important, but
and most probably, I think I again, like Nikhil, I have not studied fashion. Absolutely, I was not totally like a chicken head. I had no idea about things. But then as a learner, I actually like to learn new things. So I have been always on point where wherever I am, I would like to, absorb things and learn as a process. I would be there on point and, pick up things from here and there. But yeah, again, I also regret and go back to things in times where I think that, okay, I could have gone back there and back then in time and studied more. So yeah, it is of equal importance. But more than studies, you need to also be a good learner. I know a lot of people who studied fashion, but they're not much into learning more about it deeply, loving it and learning it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Proceeding to the next question. What are your views on men empowering women through fashion and hence dressing a little feminine? And maybe judged for their sexuality?
I don't think there's anything as specific that men are like dressing feminine to empower women. I think most of the outfits should sort of be unisex. Everyone should be able to wear what they like. If I know a friend of mine who wears skirts, he wears it because he loves wearing it. There is no specific thought of, oh, I'm doing this to empower women. He's doing it for what he likes and what he wants to do. So it's obvious. Of course, it's great to like be able to kind of put out that message to be able to everyone can wear whatever. But I don't really think that there's any specific thing that a guy is wearing something to empower women in a certain way.
Good, Lean and Sukmani, ma'am.
I think we pretty much agree about the same thing, that there's no such specific thing that, oh, you need to dress up in a way to define something or to support something. Everybody has their own freedom to dress up the way they want to and the way they want to look up to. So it's no specification, or there are no boundaries in fashion that you have to dress up in a certain way and support someone. It's completely
As
like
stylists, as being in a country like India, I would just want people to be more open to things and less judgmental. That is the only thing I would like to say, because people are very judgmental about things. You don't need to support anybody, you just need to stop judging people. That's all that matters. You just need to just stop staring and be judging people. That's all.
I absolutely agree. It's a question of human rights. It's not a question of empowering men by men empowering women by dressing like them. That's actually again judging them. There's no such thing as feminine and masculine. The reason that fashion has very aggressively arrived at a space of genderless fashion is because it's about human rights. And fashion is consumed more than by just men and women. There's a transgender community that's actually a leader in the way you see style. If you look at fashion, it has been driven by transgender people and their desire to experiment and have fun with it. Irreverence, I keep using the word irreverence, that is what propels fashion. And I think genderless fashion comes from a desire to see human rights and equality.
Coming to the next question, is it mandatory for one to dress according to their age, even though it may not please oneself?
It's really funny. I don't think there's anything as age appropriate, body appropriate, stereotyping, rules and regulations. You have to wear what makes you comfortable. So the next time you judge your mother and say, Mom, you can't wear that, think of what I just said. I think you have to wear what you're comfortable in. There are those lists of 30 things women shouldn't wear after they hit 30. Hoop earrings are one of those. Who says that? Who decides that?
Nikhil, so.
Yeah, as in that she's basically covered it up completely. I was like, it shouldn't be like, oh, you're a dad, you shouldn't be wearing a pair of jeans and a cool pair of shirt. Like, it doesn't matter. I know, like, my mom wears outfits that any probably like a 20-year-old would be wearing that outfit, but she loves it and she likes wearing it, and I appreciate it. I was like, mom, you're looking amazing irrespective of what she's wearing. It really doesn't matter. You should rock what you're wearing, basically.
That's where when what she said about the judgmental thing. So
Yeah.
that's what the whole concept revolves around. That everybody judges you in whatever you do or whatever you dress up like. You're immediately judged upon and commented about it.
So it's absolutely up to you how graceful and comfortable, like she said, you need to be graceful enough and comfortable in your own skin that nobody and can actually come up to you and say that, oh, this is something you should not be wearing.
My next question would be, how shall one convert their passion into profession and hence monetize their creativity in the fashion industry? Because that's what teenagers like me face a lot of problems in that kind of aspect. What do you have to say about that?
I'm going to be old fashioned in this, but if you start from day one thinking you're going to monetize something, you're going to put together a product that no one's going to want. The most successful brands are led with content first. And by content, I mean it could be your talent, it could be your storytelling, it could be a clothing brand, whatever you say. And I'll give you the example of business of fashion. It was brilliant content before L Capital decided to decided to fund it. First, figure out who you are, head into the market with authenticity. Anything good tends to do well. A monetary plan will come later, and it'll come when you have the wisdom to figure out how to monetize it. 5 years ago, no one would have thought that you could monetize an Instagram handle.
Like, for me, like, since I started in the beginning, it was I didn't know what I wanted to do in the first place. I knew I wanted to do fashion, but I didn't know what I wanted to do in fashion. I can't directly think that how do I monetize in fashion when I don't even know what I want to do in fashion. I started styling. I did 5 years of styling. Right after that, while I was styling, I just started a page where I was putting my daily outfits. I never thought that my Instagram is going to help me monetize at any point in life. This was in 2015. It was just casual me wearing outfits and just posting them. Eventually, 2.5 years later of me just doing fun on my Instagram, I got a mail from a brand and they wanted to do this. Then I got an insider wanting to do like, oh, I want to go into the digital space of it because I understand that a lot more after running my own page. That's when, after many years of experience, I worked with a bunch of people. I freelanced in a way to understand more than monetizing. Even after you make that money, you still have to put it in your business to run it. It's not going to run by itself, no matter what it is.
I'd like to end the beautiful conversation. We are beyond pleased to have each and every one of you all today. Thank you so much